Happy Monday, everybody. From the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex, it's time again for Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm Rick Arsenal. As always, first things first. Thanks so much for watching and listening. And if you haven't done so yet, get down there in the corner and smash that like and subscribe or like and share button. Thank you in advance so much. Uh, well, I trust if you watched the Super Bowl, uh, like most of us, you were very disappointed. You expected a more competitive game than what we got. It was pretty much over by halftime. It was what at that point 17-0, and due to the halftime show, it was a rather lengthy intermission, but nothing changed in the second half. At one point, the Eagles had a 34-0 lead. It was a genuine beatdown, if you will. Pat Mahomes was running for his life most of the game. He was sacked 6 times. Travis Kelce was pretty much a no-show. I guess the good thing about that was we didn't get many shots of Taylor Swift, and hey, it was flying Eagles flying at the end of the game. Jalen Hurts, the MVP, rightfully so. He had a good game yesterday. So, but the Eagle defense was completely dominating. If the Lions, you ask yourselves, if the Lions hadn't gotten hurt and hadn't lost, what they lose? 9 of their 11 starters on defense. Could they have beaten the Eagles at Ford Field? Would they have been favored? I think they probably would have been favored slightly had they played the NFC Championship game at Ford Field. But as banged up as they were, I don't think they would have beaten the Eagles. One thing, too, looking ahead to next season, as you know, the NFL always kicks off their season or their schedule after Labor Day weekend. One thing we know for a fact, the Lions aren't playing the Eagles at Philadelphia next year. And the word already coming out, we won't know what the schedule actually is. It might get leaked out ahead of time, but schedule doesn't come out till the first or second week in May. And we do know the Lions are playing in Philadelphia next year. The word is it could be the Lions and Eagles on that opening Thursday night to kick off the season. Of course, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here, but that's already coming out. That's not official. That's just the scuttlebutt coming out right now. You could very well see in the game that kicks off the season, Lions and Eagles at Lincoln Financial in Philadelphia. But like I said, that's a long way off. That's something that might get leaked out before the actual schedule comes out, too, by the way. Food for thought. One thing we do know, the Lions have a brutal road schedule next year. And a little bit later on, I want to get a few things out of the way first. But FanDuel Sportsbook has already come out with their odds, Super Bowl odds for next year's Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60, Super Bowl LX to be held in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium next year. We'll run over their top 10 list for odds just a little bit later on. Let's get a few things out of the way first. Michigan and Michigan State basketball. Michigan has a game tomorrow night at Chrysler Arena against first place Purdue. The Boilermakers come in. They are 11-2 in the Big Ten. Michigan and Michigan State are both in second place, tied for second at 10-2. Purdue is 19-5 overall. Michigan is 18-5 overall, and the Spartans are 19-4 overall. So that is a big game for Michigan tomorrow night at Chrysler. If they could, you'd think there'd be a revenge match for the embarrassing loss that they suffered a couple of weeks ago in West Lafayette to the Boilermakers, when they got completely mugged or kidnapped or bushwhacked or whatever you want to call it. But it was a complete a complete beatdown on the part of the boy. Anyway, they've got a chance to redeem themselves tomorrow night. So I think that's a 7 o'clock start tomorrow night at Chrysler. Purdue and Michigan. I don't know what channel you can watch that on, or I think it's going to have to be streamed, or if it's on the Big Ten Network or what. But I'm assuming it's on the Big Ten Network. I don't know that for a fact. You'll have to look that up on your own. Anyway, Michigan and Purdue tomorrow night. The Spartans, as I said, who are tied with the Wolverines at 10-2 in the Big Ten, are playing Indiana tomorrow night. That's a late start at the Breslin. That's 9 o'clock start tomorrow night. Yeah, that gets you caught up on Michigan and Michigan State. Pistons played Charlotte yesterday. At one point in the game, they had a 36 or 38 point lead. They actually let Charlotte come back and get within 2 points. They ended up winning the game by 10, I think 112-102. But Bickerstaff, the Piston coach, wasn't very happy after the game due to what transpired. I saw the final score and I couldn't believe it. Then when I found out they let the Hornets come back and get within 2 points after trailing by 36, that's unacceptable. Hopefully the Pistons learned a lesson about that. But so right now they're 27-26, and they are in sixth place in the NBA East. They're a couple of games behind fifth place Milwaukee. They got 2 games back to back with the Bulls beginning tomorrow night, and the Bulls aren't very good. They're in 10th place, 22-31. And now that they've traded the Piston killer, Zach LaVine, to Sacramento, these, to me, folks, these are 2 must-wins for the Pistons. Tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Tomorrow night at Little Caesars, and Wednesday night back in Chicago at the United Center. They should win these 2 games. I'm not saying split. They should win both of them. That would get them to what, 29-26. But like I said, they're 2 games behind fifth place Milwaukee. Indiana's in 3rd place. As far as the Red Wings go, as you know, they won't play now for a couple of weeks. Their next game is February 22nd. They're on hiatus now for this ridiculous 4-team international hockey tournament, which transpires in Milwaukee and Boston. So at their hiatus, or after break, if you will, they are 27-22-5. I'm sorry, can't read my own writing here. So sorry, they're 28-22-5, 61 points in the Atlantic Division. Tough loss that they had at home. Disappointing, if you will, Saturday at Little Caesars against the Lightning. They gave up 4 goals in the first period. They ended up pulling the goalie relatively early in the game. And usually when you do that, you're not going to win. They just gave up too many goals. They lost the game 6-3, but it was a 4-2 game after one period. You can't relinquish 4 goals in the span of 20 minutes and expect to win the game. So disappointing loss. And that's too bad, too, because they've got to go to the loss with a taste of a loss in their mouths now for the next couple of weeks before they start playing again. But anybody interested in this international tournament? I'm not. And again, as I've said before, I don't know whose brainchild this was. This is being played instead of the All-Star game, which was always kind of a farce anyway. But so I did tell you that next year's Super Bowl was going to be in Santa Clara. I don't have an exact date on that. I'm assuming it'll be the weekend before President's Day holiday. So I'll have to look that up when I get out of here, but I'm assuming that'll be like the second Sunday in February next year. Okay, before we get into anything else, I think it's time for a commercial for the good folks at Frank Beck Chevrolet. You know, Frank Beck Chevrolet is thanking loyal Chevy owners with big savings during Chevy Loyalty Month now through March the 3rd. Loyal Chevy owners can save an extra $1,000 on brand new 2025 Blazers, Colorados, Trailblazers, and Silverado HD models. Plus, 1.9% financing is available on all select models. Beck's also has a great selection of late model pre-owned vehicles at fantastic prices. Check out their inventory on their webpage at frankbeckchevy.com, or better still, stop by and see them on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. And talk to one of the salesmen. They'll give you all the details you need on that. And not only that, I want you to circle your calendars right now. Get your pen out or whatever. Put it on your phone. Saturday morning, April the 12th, as sorry. I just got a scam call, and I was going to show you something on my phone here. I'm really sorry about this. I apologize. I have my phone here. I wanted to show you something on my phone. I get a scam call. I apologize. Sorry for the interruption. At least you know you're watching this live. So, anyway, circle your calendars. Saturday, April the 12th, at the Frank Beck Chevrolet showroom from 8 to 11 in the morning. That is their Frank Beck's annual Maggie Fry Scholarship Breakfast. And this year's event will run for, as I said, from 8 to 11 right in the showroom, and will feature yours truly and Andy Brown doing our show there live and direct from the showroom. Saturday morning, April 12th. Clear your calendars for this special event. We hope to see you all out there. And not only that, Bob Flynn wanted me to remind you that Beckathon has been extended. That was the special January event going on where you can still take advantage of it. You save an extra $1,000 dealer cash on all remaining new 2024 models in stock, and you get extra $3,000 dealer cash on select used vehicles in stock. Beckathon has been extended. So get out there and take advantage of that too. Get in there and experience, folks. Get in there and experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet together. Let's drive. Chevy Drive, Southern Michigan. Frank Beck Chevrolet is the #1 Chevrolet dealer in the tri-state area. Two things. Caesars Sportsbook. I'm sorry, FanDuel Sportsbook. Yeah, that's it. Not Caesars. FanDuel Sportsbook has already published their 2026 Super Bowl odds. As I said, that game will be held in Santa Clara, which is the home of the 49ers next year. Super Bowl LX. I'm going to go through the top 10 odds, obviously starting with the best odds to win #1 and going through it 1 to 10. One thing of note here, the numbers after each team represents the net gain of winning would be on a $100 wager. Okay, let me go through that again. Numbers after each team represents the net gain on a winning bet, which would what you would earn on a $100 wager. Of course, the top team would be the Eagles. #1 are the Eagles. That's a +600. #2 would be the Chiefs at a +650. #3 would be the Ravens, +650. So you could say the Chiefs and Ravens are tied for second. The fourth best odds are the Bills, +750. The Lions come in at fifth, +1,000. That means if you wagered $100 on the Lions to win the Super Bowl next year, you'd have a net gain of about $900. No, that's a pretty good bet for $100. 49ers are sixth at +1,500. The Bengals come in seventh, +1,800. The Packers are 8th at plus 2,000. The Commanders 9th at plus 2,400. And the Rams are 10th at plus $2,800. Yeah, $2,800 on a $100 bet. That's not bad either, is it? No. Kind of think too about the Lions and Brad Holmes and all this talk about Myles Garrett. If you heard what Aiden Hutchinson had to say last week, rather bizarre comment that we really don't need this many dudes on a defensive line, and it's not very unrealistic. I doubt this will happen. I tend to agree with him. I don't really know what all that rambling was about. He gave a rather incoherent response, but the bottom line is it's probably not going to happen here. I doubt very much. I'll be shocked if he ends up with the Lions. As I've said before, for Brad Holmes to trade that much draft capital. Look, they've got the 28th pick in the draft in April. Would you at number 28, would you gladly take Myles Garrett? Sure you would. But you're looking at what? 2 number 1 picks, maybe an additional second or third rounder, plus maybe a player. And I'd love to have him here. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have him here. But you can remember, too, they've still got Zadarius Smith for one more year. And Smith, combined with Cleveland and Detroit, did have 9 sacks last year. That's more than anybody on the Eagles had. The top sack man on the Eagles had 8 sacks. Smith had 9, and who knows what he could do with Aiden Hutchinson on the other end of that line. If he came back and you plugged him in there at one edge with Hutch on the other, I think they could both have double-digit sacks. Not only that, too, Carlton Davis, who will be a free agent soon, probably going to want a lucrative long-term deal. Just depends on how badly he wants to come back to the Lions, how badly to the Lions. I'd like to see him back. It's just a matter of could they afford him or not. But a good plan B there might be Jets quarterback DJ Reed. He kind of became the forgotten man playing across from Sauce Gardner with the Jets. DJ Reed of the Jets has indicated he's probably played his last game there. He's also looking for a long-term lucrative deal. You could probably get him for 4 years for something like, $58 million? That's just a name for you to remember if they can't get Carlton Davis back. DJ Reed of the Mets.